any way you can get acne from dandruff? Does dandruff itself cause acne? And if yes, how do you get rid of it? In this video, I will give you the exact strategy on how to get rid of acne from dandruff based on 3 treatments and home remedies. Because yes, acne from dandruff is a real thing, and unfortunately, most people don't talk about it. So whether you have it on your forehead, on your back, or anywhere else, I will give you the exact routine to get rid of acne from dandruff really easily. Hello and welcome to Acne from A to Z. I'm a pharmacist, and on this channel I teach you how to get rid of your acne by fighting its root cause. So if this is something you are interested in, make sure to subscribe below and also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, where I post daily videos and tips about acne. Now here's exactly the thing we are going to focus on in this video. For the beginning, we will answer the question if dandruff really causes acne and see what is the actual connection between dandruff and acne. And after that, we will get straight to the 3 treatments that you should use if you have this kind of acne. Now, the question is, can you have acne from dandruff? And the answer is yes and no. So let me explain you in detail how exactly you can get acne from dandruff and what this actually means, because it's not as easy as it sounds at first sight. Basically, dandruff itself does not cause acne. However, if you have dandruff, you have much higher chances to develop a specific type of acne, simply because dandruff and this form of acne often go hand in hand together. So people who have dandruff on their scalp have higher chances to develop this form of acne at one point. They may be either more prone to get it or not, so both scenarios are possible. But keep in mind that if you have scalp dandruff, you have higher chances to get this form of acne at any point in your life. Now, in order to explain you why, we have to look at the connection between acne and dandruff. And what you need to remember is that both dandruff and a certain form of acne are caused by the same yeast. I'm talking about Malassezia or Pityrosporum. However you want to call it, both names are accepted. This yeast can cause both dandruff and a form of acne called fungal acne. And let's begin by looking at how exactly this yeast can cause scalp dandruff. So basically, this Malassezia is a yeast that is common, that is normal for your skin and for your scalp's natural flora. But in some situations, it can multiply a lot more than it is normal, and in this case, it kind of gets out of control. So in these situations, it can affect either your scalp or your skin. Since it affects your scalp, it's going to cause those flakes that are commonly called as dandruff. So this is the reason why you get scalp dandruff, because you have an increased multiplication of this Malassezia in your scalp. And the reason why a lot of people who already have scalp dandruff end up developing this fungal acne is because it is super easy for that fungus to migrate. So from your scalp, it can easily migrate on your face, especially on your forehead, which is the area that is the closest to your scalp. Since they have the exact same trigger, it's kind of obvious that you have much higher chances to develop this fungal acne if you already have scalp dandruff, so if you already have a multiplication and excess of this Malassezia in your scalp. This is basically the acne and dandruff connection. But what you need to know is that simply because you have dandruff, it doesn't increase your chances to develop any other form of acne, whether that is hormonal acne, gut acne, bacterial acne, or any other forms that aren't necessarily caused by this Malassezia, by this yeast. So if you actually have acne from dandruff, which isn't actually acne caused by dandruff, it is simply acne caused by the same yeast that causes dandruff. In this case, your acne can only be fungal. This is what I need you to keep in mind. It's never going to be hormonal, it's never going to be caused by the gut. You cannot have any other form of acne, basically. If you do, it is definitely not triggered by the same problem that is causing your dandruff. So how can you know for sure that what you have is fungal acne? So assuming that you have scalp dandruff and you also have some pimples, how can you tell if those are actually fungal? And the good news here is that fungal acne has some very specific signs and symptoms, and it is super easy to differentiate it from other forms of acne. Now, I have another video where I talk about fungal acne and its top signs in detail, so how exactly you can recognize it. If you are interested, I'm gonna link that below. But generally, the first thing you want to look at is the position. So we already talked about the fact that fungal acne tends to appear in areas that are closer to your scalp in case you already have scalp dandruff, simply because it is super easy for that fungus to migrate from your scalp. And this is why the first area that is usually affected is your forehead. At the same time, fungal acne can also appear on your cleavage, on your shoulder, on your back, which are again areas where it's super easy for that fungus to fall off from your scalp. So it's gonna be super common for it to fall off from your scalp onto your chest, onto your shoulders, and so on. This is why you usually get fungal acne in these specific areas if you already have scalp dandruff. Yes, fungal acne can pretty much appear anywhere, but in my experience, these are the areas it mostly affects. At the same time, pimples caused by skin fungus will not be very aggressive and very cystic. Instead, they are more mild. They usually come together in clusters, so they are very grouped, they have very similar sizes. There can be some inflammation, but not a lot, so it's not that classic and typical form of acne that a lot of people have. And probably the most specific sign of fungal acne is itchiness. This is why a lot of people who have fungal pimples, who have pimples caused by yeast, notice that they are super itchy and they always feel the need to scratch. Now, someone asked me recently on TikTok whether they can have fungal acne if their pimples are not itchy. And this is definitely possible. It doesn't mean that if your pimples are not itchy, it doesn't mean that they are definitely not caused by skin fungus. But in general, they will be itchy. And the reason why I always insist a lot on this symptom is because it's what makes it different from all the other forms of acne. So there isn't any other form of acne that causes itchiness as a symptom. And this is why if you have itchy pimples, it's super easy to tell that they are caused by skin fungus. But at the same time, your pimples don't necessarily have to be itchy in order to be fungal. They can be fungal even if they are not itchy, as long as they have all the other symptoms. And like I said, make sure to check my other video because I talk about how you can recognize fungal acne in detail, and I give you a lot more tips and tricks than I can give you in this video because I don't want to make it super long. So make sure to check that video as well. Now, let's assume that your acne is actually because of that dandruff, so it is caused by malassezia, by that yeast, and you also have scalp dandruff, so you have basically what I like to call fungal acne. Now, how exactly can you get rid of this form of acne? Because if you watch some of my previous videos, you know I always say that if you want to get rid of your acne, you always have to focus on its root cause. And in this case, the root cause of your acne is this yeast, this malassezia. And for this reason, you will treat fungal acne very differently compared to hormonal acne or bacterial acne. So I'm gonna give you 3 different treatments that are actually super effective for this form of acne, and the good news here is that generally fungal acne is extremely easy to treat as long as you focus on targeting its root cause. So normally any of these 3 treatments should work, but I'm just gonna give them in the order of their comfort. So the first one is gonna be the easiest one, the second one will be also an easy one, and the third one is something I recommend if the first 2 do not work. Now, by far the easiest way to get rid of fungal acne is to use antifungal creams. They are definitely the first-line treatment and the first-line solution for this form of acne simply because they are designed to target and to fight that excessive skin fungus proliferation. So they would basically fix on the root cause of your acne, and if you use this kind of antifungal cream, your acne should get better in a couple of weeks or sometimes even in a couple of days. My advice is to see a doctor if you believe you have fungal acne, especially if you also have dandruff, because I know that in a lot of countries antifungal creams are only given with a prescription, so you're gonna need a prescription from your doctor, and it's obviously a lot safer to be diagnosed by a doctor, by a specialist, than to diagnose yourself based on this video or based on the things you see on the internet. So this is why my first advice is to see a doctor, and if your doctor does notice that your acne can be fungal, he is definitely going to prescribe you an antifungal cream that should normally fix the problem. But I know some of you may not have the possibility to either see a doctor or get an antifungal cream. This is why the second treatment, the second remedy, is something a bit more practical, something that is easier to find, and something that many of us have in our homes. And I'm talking about an anti-dandruff shampoo that is very often effective when it comes to fixing fungal acne, simply because it is targeted to fight that malassezia. And like I said, malassezia is the same yeast that produces that scalp dandruff that you have. And this is the reason why if you use this kind of shampoo designed to fight malassezia, designed to fight the scalp fungus and dandruff that you have, this kind of shampoo will also be effective on your fungal acne, since it basically has the same trigger. And a lot of people ask me, how exactly should they use this anti-dandruff shampoo? Generally, you want to use it whenever you wash your hair, so whenever you're in the shower, and you wouldn't just apply it onto your scalp, you would also apply a little bit on your forehead or on any other area that you have fungal acne on. Most people have fungal acne on their forehead, like I explained you, but if you have some on your chin or on your jawline, on your cheeks, anywhere else, you can pretty much apply that shampoo, that lather, leave it on for a couple of minutes, and then rinse normally. Afterwards, I would recommend using a moisturizer. Generally, a lightweight one would be better, simply because this kind of anti-dandruff shampoos are mostly designed for the scalp, and your face is usually more sensitive. The skin from your face is usually more prone to get irritated by this kind of products. This is why you want to apply a moisturizer afterwards, because this would prevent irritation and it would keep your skin hydrated. But generally, you can use this anti-dandruff shampoo once or twice a week, depending on how often you wash your hair. I would say it's not necessary to use it more often, maybe maximum 3 times a week, but not more often than that. And you should generally see an improvement if your acne is really caused by skin fungus. So this is probably a very easy remedy for a lot of you, because you can pretty much find an anti-dandruff shampoo anywhere, or maybe you already have it at home. And I know many of you are fans of home remedies, and you want me to talk about home remedies as well as a solution for fungal acne. And in this case, probably the best remedy for this form of acne is tea tree oil. Now, I have another video where I talk about tea tree oil as a solution to several forms of acne, because it has both antifungal and antibacterial properties, which makes it really suitable for both fungal and bacterial acne. And in that video, I talk in detail about how exactly you should use it and in what circumstances it works best. So I'm gonna link that video below. But generally, I know a lot of people who have had some really good results with tea tree oil for their fungal acne. Like I said, it's a really strong antifungal, so it's probably one of the best natural remedies when it comes to fighting skin fungus and fungal acne. Now, the thing you need to remember here is that tea tree oil is a very powerful oil, and this is why you would not be able to use it as it is, because if you applied tea tree oil as it is directly on your acne, on your face, it has all chances to burn your skin, so do not do this. And instead, you generally want to dilute it first with a carrier oil, something like argan oil or coconut oil, depending on what your skin tolerates best. But usually, this carrier oil are meant to make this tea tree oil better tolerated by the skin, so that it doesn't irritate your skin as much. And usually you will only use a very small amount of tea tree oil compared to the carrier oil. My general rule is to use 1 drop of tea tree oil for 12 drops of a carrier oil. But like I said, I talk about the exact dosage and how exactly you should prepare tea tree oil for skin application in my video, so make sure to check that out as well. Just like an anti-dandruff shampoo, I also recommend using a moisturizer after applying tea tree oil, simply because it can be too strong, even diluted, so it still has some chances to irritate your skin, especially if your skin is on the more sensitive side. But all in all, you can apply this tea tree oil solution something like once or 3 times a week, depending on what your skin tolerates once again. And if the other 2 remedies and treatments did not work, this one has all chances to be effective, and it is also a natural solution for those of you who prefer natural remedies. So this is my general strategy on how to fix fungal acne or acne caused by dandruff, because it is not actually triggered by dandruff. It is simply caused by the same yeast that causes dandruff. So first of all, you need to make sure that your acne is fungal. So I already gave you the signs, and if you are sure that you actually have fungal acne, you can try one of these 3 remedies. My first recommendation would be to either go for an antifungal cream or an anti-dandruff shampoo, simply because they are specially designed to fight skin fungus. But if you really want to go for a natural remedy, tea tree oil is a really good option as long as you dilute it correctly. So pay a lot of attention to this. Let me know if you know any other treatment or natural remedy for fungal acne. So if you had fungal acne in the past, if you struggle with this problem, let me know what exactly you used. I really hope this video was helpful, and I am waiting for your feedback in the comments below. And until next time, I wish you to stay acne free.